Hi, welcome to this TRIO academic workshop. My name is Troy. I'm a student development advisor here at the Community College of Denver. Today we are going to be talking about how to gain career experience. So, why is career experience important for a student? And I divided my list of benefits here to make a point. And that point is career experience or experiential opportunities are not just about workforce preparation. In fact, there are a lot of benefits that come to the student through career experience while they're still a student. And so that's what we're seeing here in the first part of our list. Career experiences really enhance your learning experience as a student, enhance your time as a student. Now down in the lower part here we see the second category, more of what you would think in the traditional sense of workforce preparation benefits that come to a student through career experiences. These are more the types of things that you might think of that are more directly applicable to making that jump from your time as a student to your time as a career professional, but nevertheless very important to note, career experience is not just about workforce preparation, it's also about learning, and it is really for every student. So let's take a look here at this imaginary resume that I created for an imaginary alumni of the Community College of Denver, Andy Gomez. And let's just pretend that I'm a prospective employer taking a look at a resume amongst a sea of resumes. I'm trying to take a look at this resume and see what evidence do I see of relevant experience, relevant skills, relevant abilities, commitment to the field, mindset, growth mindset, someone that's always learning and expanding. What evidence do I see in Andy's resume? And we're seeing here a very traditional, just listing education and employment history. Now in comparison, let's look at the second resume where we're also listing all of the career experience opportunities that Andy participated in while a student in undergrad, both at the community college and at his transfer institution. And I think you can see that there's a whole lot more that me, the prospective employer, can really hold on to and say, wow, this candidate's really interesting. I would like to learn more about some of these experiences that Andy had, career experiences while a student, that are related to the type of work that we do here. There are all sorts of ways to get career experience, and I purposely set up this resume to identify some of the main categories. First off, probably one of the things that you would think of when I say how can you get career experience as a student, internships. So Andy, he was a biofuels intern at the National Renewable Energy Lab, which is in Golden, Colorado. Basically an internship is you are working for a company, for an organization, for a nonprofit, working in the government sector, but you're not quite working for them either. You're still in the student world. This internship might be for credit, it might be paid, probably more likely to be unpaid, but you're getting a lot of good opportunities to get mentoring from people in your field, to job shadow, to kind of get your hands dirty, start doing some of the work, start making connections. Internships, a great career experience. Less commonly thought of, undergraduate research, also a very powerful way to get experience in your career field before ever leaving school. So what is undergraduate research? Well, many professors at the university in particular, but also at smaller colleges, are involved in research in addition to their teaching responsibilities as a professor. This commonly happens in the sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, but also in engineering, also in the social sciences, political science, and also in the humanities, literature, art history. There are professors doing research, and you as a student can participate in that. So Andy, he was a research assistant in a zebrafish lab, which is related to biology or biochemistry, something to that effect, relevant to his career interests. If you look closely, he was interested in ecology, environmental engineering, something to that effect. So undergraduate research, great opportunity. Work study. Pretty common. You might know about work study, working on campus either through your financial aid package or through an hourly schedule. But what's cool about work study is that you can oftentimes have more flexibility to make it relevant to what you're considering for a career. So Andy, in our example here, he's an administrative assistant, or was, with the Center for Math and Science. You know, he's not doing scientific research, he's not out in the field doing ecology, which is more his career interest, but nevertheless he's in that environment. He's surrounded by professors coming in and out. He's seeing maybe how grant funding affects the scientific enterprise, and so he is a part of that environment. It's all about choosing relevant experiences, much the same with employment that might happen off campus or that might have happened before you were a student. Just pursuing or thinking about how that is relevant to your current career position that you're pursuing. So Andy, he was an assistant manager at Starbucks. That's great in terms of leadership, in terms of communication, and other such soft skills, maybe having to work with budgets, dealing with money, numbers. And so you want to both think about what's relevant in terms of employment while you're in school or before school, but also think about how can you talk about your experience in such a way, like an interview, for example, that demonstrates to a prospective employer, me in this case, how this is relevant to the type of work that you do in this field. Extracurricular activities, as we often call them, might better be considered co-curricular activities, part of your learning experience just as much as the types of things that happen in the classroom. There are all sorts of extracurricular activities that allow you to get career experience. Professional organizations. Andy was a student member of the International Society of Chemical Ecology. What's that? What's a professional organization? Basically every field, from business to religious studies to physics, have these professional organizations where people in that field from across the country, even across the world, have a common place where they come together to network, to go to conferences, to talk about what they're doing, to support one another, to perhaps form lobbying efforts if they're related to the government in some way. And then you as a student can participate in these professional organizations as a student member often. There usually is a fee associated with joining a professional organization. However, you can oftentimes get scholarships. There's almost always reduced rates. You might be able to get your membership paid for by a student organization at your school, something to that effect. Another experiential opportunity, volunteering. Probably something you would think of if I asked you to consider some career experiential opportunities. Volunteering, again, you want to make it relevant. So our example, Andy, he was a volunteer with Wildlands Restoration Alliance, which is a nonprofit organization that works to restore damaged habitats. Pretty closely related to ecology, how humans interact with the natural environment and how to get your hands dirty to go about restoring maybe some of the damage or the destruction. Great volunteer opportunity for Andy. There can be all sorts of volunteer opportunities, whatever your field is. If you're going into education, you might volunteer in a classroom. If you're going into healthcare, you might volunteer at a nursing home. All sorts of great opportunities. Civic participation, different type of volunteering. Civic participation is when you as a citizen participate in the government of our country, government of our state, local level government. So civic participation, in our example, Andy participated in a lobbying advocacy campaign with Sierra Club, which is an environmental organization, again relevant to what he's doing for a career or interested in for a career path. But there are also other forms. If you're interested in education, you might join a parent-teacher board. If you're interested in public health, you might become part of a neighborhood campaign to raise awareness about issues. So civic participation, a great experiential opportunity. Student organizations. Andy was part of the Outdoor Adventure Club on the Auraria campus. He was the treasurer. Again, you can talk about transferable skills in terms of money management, leadership, multicultural competency, whatever. Or it could be related to specific content knowledge, the outdoors, how that relates to ecology. Okay, that was a lot of talking about all the many opportunities for career experience. When am I supposed to do all this? Troy, you would say, I'm a full-time student, a full-time parent, and I have a part-time job. I don't have time to do these things. And I definitely hear what you're saying, and that's a legitimate concern. I would encourage you to think about these career experiential opportunities as part of your educational experience, just as you would consider a class to be part of your educational experience. So if that means perhaps taking one less class in a given semester in order to be able to participate in some of these additional opportunities, probably worth considering. Or perhaps you can look into funding sources like scholarships or grants that provide funding for some of these things like research assistantships or internships, or looking into ways to get paid while doing this, work study, relevant employment, perhaps internships. But whatever you can do to make it happen, it's definitely worth your time, definitely a part of your educational experience, definitely an investment in your future career opportunities. So that's all I have for today, folks, on some ideas for gaining career experience. We'll see you next time.